Hey, welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls and I am your host, and I am fired up about who I have on today. I have the one and the only Erik, Mr. Awesome Swanson on the show today. Erik, welcome to the show.
What's up, brother? What's going on, Ken? You rock. Woohoo!
Man, we had some technical glitches this morning, but hey, man, you know what? Anything worth having requires work sometimes.
It's so true, man. It's like a fine wine. Hey, should I
It
share this? Maybe I should share this to my group. What do you think?
Yeah, share it out, man. Just go to my personal page and share away. Share
All right.
away.
I will do that right
So, I told you I created this show a couple of years ago. I've had some amazing guests on. This show is literally about giving back to the world. Because I truly believe that we grow as human beings by sharing our stories with people, man, and like what we've been through and how we overcame it and had a technical glitch and pushed forward anyway.
Absolutely. We always
Right.
have technical glitches, right? We should write a book, the technical glitch of life.com.
There you go.
Oh, that's some funny stuff right there.
So let's start out with maybe, you tell everybody where you were born and raised.
Okay. I was born and raised on Facebook, and here, I got to put a title in here. Breakthrough. That's what I'm going to do. This is great. This is like stuff that we're doing it right now, guys. Right now. This is what we're doing. Breakthrough. Let's spell that right. And then boom. And now I'm good. So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. area. And I was born and raised there in the East Coast. Beautiful, fun winters in the East Coast.
Yeah,
Where are you, by the way? Are you in New York? I can't remember where you live. No,
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same weather as Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Close.
I guess so.
I think it's a little warmer in Washington though.
Did you ever have to when you were a kid, were you like, yes, more snow days? We would count the snow days, and there's like half an inch out there. My brother and I would have our own shovels, and we'd take our shovels and we'd put more snow in front of the driveway and the garage. And I'm like, Mom, look, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. So she's like, you're going to be a meteorologist someday. I'm like, yeah, I am totally. But I'm staying home tonight.
Right. So now you live in Arizona though, so you don't get much snow there.
Yeah. Well, I live in California and Arizona. I'm over in Arizona just for the winter is what I do. I like pop back and forth and so forth. But yeah, Huntington Beach is usually where I stay.
I can see why you'd want to get away from Huntington Beach in the winter. It gets so miserably cold there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, it's Huntington Beach and San Diego, where I live most of the time. Those two places, I tell people it's boring, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I go, "It's 72 to 75 every day. It's just boring. It's you don't want that." I go, "It's closed. Don't go there anymore."
It's terrible. That's just
How come
terrible.
you're bigger than me? I want to be bigger. Look, I want to go. Hey, hi guys. Now I'm tall.
You got to get closer. So growing up in Washington, D.C., so that's where you went to school, elementary, middle school, high school, all that, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, for most of the time. I went through, all of my, actually, at age 5, I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm done. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. And so I grabbed my, bandana and I made a backpack out of it, and I put some apples in there, and I left. I cruised. And then, I started this huge company, and it was great.
Yeah, right.
Cool. No, so high school, actually, I split high school. I was in Washington, D.C. for 2 years, and then I went up to Vermont to finish up my high school for junior and senior year.
Because you were tired of how cold and snowy it was in D.C.
Yeah.
So you thought Vermont's going to be tropical.
Yeah, I was thinking Puerto Rico or Vermont. I went with Vermont, and both are in the U.S. So I was like, yeah, that's good. No, that's what I did. And wow, talk about breakthroughs. That was one of my breakthroughs. Literally, I just realized this a couple of years ago, that actually was one of my biggest breakthroughs from sophomore year to junior year, because what happened was in my all throughout my grade school and so forth, I was picked on, I was bullied all the time, and it was crazy. And like, what I decided to do, I made a decision, like, between sophomore and junior year, I ended up growing like in height about a foot. And
wow.
And it was like, and I got on the bus over there in Vermont to go to school for the day one. And someone asked me some question, whatever the question was, I can't remember. But I was like, hey, I thought about it, and I was like, I can say whatever I want right now. Nobody knows me. So I said, yeah, you ever see the movie About Last Night? And he's the guy, I forget his name. What's I can't remember the actor's name. Not Rob Lowe, but the other guy, the two brothers. I can't remember right now. But he goes, he's trying to pick up this girl. And the girl goes, so what do you do? He goes, do you know anything about boxing? She goes, no. He goes, I'm the heavyweight heavyweight champion of the world. So that's basically what I said. They're like, what do you do? I go, I think they said, do you play sports? And I was like, yeah, I play everything. They're like, what do you want? I go, back in the day, I played hockey, I played football, I played basketball, I played baseball. They're like, no way, you're Bo Jackson. I'm like, yeah, I am. So all the girls liked me. Everyone, I was like, hey, pick a number. It was like a big, and I say joking around, but I'm serious. Like, that was a big breakthrough. It's not to come up with some breakthroughs on your show here. That's not.
I mean, it's not like it's called Breakthrough Walls.
I know, it was like crazy. So yeah, Vermont, man, Vermont.
So go back to, because I find this interesting. A lot of people, including me, I went through some bullying. I had Andy Frisella on the show. Andy is the CEO of First Form. He has the MF CEO project. They do $300-400 million a year, so he's doing okay. And Andy, I said to him, and I'm going to say the same thing. I said to him, I said, dude, you have this insatiable appetite for success. Like, he's like, dude, he's got 35 different cars, all worth over $500,000 a piece. Right. And like, I'm like, you got this drive. Where does that come from? And he said, honestly, it's because I was bullied my whole life. And I'm out to prove those blanks wrong.
Yeah.
And do you find that? Do you think that maybe some of that pushed you into what you do today?
Yeah, I think it did. I never really thought of it that way, but I believe you're right. I think that there's a drive there, and that drive, I do remember way back when, and I won't mention his name. Actually, I'll write it down and I'll put it on a piece of paper and show you guys. But this guy, I remember he would just bully me and so forth. And the funny part was, he and I were like friends, but he was still bullying me in certain ways. It's weird. It's like an inner bully circle or something. I don't know what the club I signed up for. I had no idea, but that was the one. They were like, come here, become our friend. And then bam. Right. I was like, what happened? So I remember him and bullying me a little bit like that. And I just remember I said to myself, okay, I'm going to get really good at martial arts. And I got into martial arts. I got into, that's why I secretly don't tell anyone, but I secretly like UFC, and I'm friends with a lot of the UFC stars now. Yeah. But I got into that big time, and I didn't tell anyone. Oops, I'm not supposed to tell you guys. But the thing is, like, I did that so that I could prove it to myself, be like, if he bullies me ever again, he needs to use this fist, I'll use my pinky. I'll be like,
right. Right.
But I think you're right, man. I think it comes, a lot of our stuff, they say anything that happens from age, 1 to 8 is your impressionable years that will design your future. And it's pretty interesting how that works. I love it.
Did you find yourself, I went through a lot of stuff as a kid, and I, as a teenager, I rebelled, man. I mean, I rebelled hard. And did you find yourself in any trouble as a teen? Did you get in any?
Not really. Yeah,
No?
not really. I lived in suburban Maryland. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get like maybe, I took an ice cream cone or something, it wasn't really,
Right.
I didn't rebel. I never, thank God I was never my parents are amazing. My father, brought me up both my parents brought me up the right way. And, I never got into drugs, never got into all that stuff. I didn't really like alcohol. I'd been surrounded by alcohol a lot through my family members, and I just didn't like it, so it turned me off. So now I always tell people I got rid of 3 things, through my life, and it's coffee, alcohol, and negativity. Those are like the 3 major things that I got rid of. You're like, hey, 2 out of 3 is not bad, but yeah.
I love it, dude. I love that.
Thanks.
So did you after high school? I mean, what happened? Did you end up going to college? What happened after high school?
Yeah, so I went through high school for 4 years, and they said, you should do it again. So, so I went back another 4 years. No, I'm just kidding. But wouldn't that be cool? I would love to go back to high school right now, like 4 more years. Like I would be on the football team, the basketball team, the baseball, all the things that I was telling you before. I actually did join the hockey team for exactly 1 week, and that's a whole other story. But if you see me live on any of the stages, you'll see my story there. But yeah, so after high school, I went to, so what I did was I'm awesome. Okay. My parents were like, oh man, you got to get into the school. It was the University of Vermont, and it was an amazing school, and everyone wanted me to get in, but my grades did not really approve. So I had to go to like a junior college. It was Castleton State College. It was a state college actually. Yeah. And I went there. I aced. It was great. It was awesome. And then I got into University of Vermont, right? So I went there for 1 semester, and I was bored. So I literally I dropped out. I decided, look, I'm not studying. I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just going to take a break for a while, which is probably a mistake at that point. But actually, in hindsight, maybe it wasn't, because what happened was I ended up winning the lottery. No, wait, let me take that back. That wasn't my life. I'm sorry. No,
that was somebody else.
I was thinking about a vision board I had. Never mind, that wasn't it.
Right.
So what happened was, so I was, I was 18. I thought I knew everything, right? And I just decided to take a couple years off. I did that. I ended up going off to San Francisco and working over there. And when you're 18, 19, you know what you do, and I know you did this for years, is you wait tables. So I waited tables, and I loved your server story the other day. That was awesome with Kenna. That's great.
Yeah.
That's not my job. That's what her title is. It should say that's not my job, right? So what I did was I waited tables for like a good 5 or 6 years, and then I had the fortunate experience of waiting tables on a gentleman named Brian Tracy, and
no way,
yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, how I didn't really like, I got, how do I say this in the right way? I didn't really like alcohol or anything like that, but ironically, one guy who would come in all the time, super nice guy, great guy, but he'd always have a whiskey, and I was waiting tables in Austin, Texas at a place called Mezzaluna. And this gentleman, he's a great guy, really amazing guy, but he'd have this whiskey. And I asked him, I said, he says, what are you going to do next year? Or what are you doing this year? And I said, well, this guy, Dick Tracy, asked me, and he goes, you mean Brian Tracy? Oh yeah. Brian Tracy. Asked me. I didn't know who it was. I had no clue. I'm like, all I knew is the guy with the big teeth on the infomercials, Tony something. So I said, I think he wants to hire me and bring me on to his training company and so forth. And this guy, JB Goodwin, is the company that the gentleman, he says you should do it. His name's Buddy Schilling. He goes, if you have a chance to work with Brian Tracy, the legend, yes, do it. I said, okay, well, I'll take your advice, because this guy was the president of a big big corporation, JB Goodwin Realty in Austin. So that's what happened. I met Brian Tracy, ended up working with him, and the rest is being history, being written right now.
I mean, Brian Tracy, I'm connected with Brian on LinkedIn, or at least his team.
Yeah.
And, I think that, I look back, because I'm 51 years old, and I look back at when I first got into sales, was at 19 years old, 20 years old, and officially, although I started selling way before that, but I look back, and Brian Tracy, along with Zig Ziglar, those were the two. Do you remember cassette tapes? So
of course.
I wore out Brian Tracy's cassettes. I still have these two big things of his Psychology of Selling and Psychology of Success with all the CDs in it.
Yeah.
So Brian Tracy impacted the crap out of me. I mean, in such a positive way. Yes, there you go. CDs, right? Or those? Yeah, those are CDs, right?
These are CDs, which to be clear, Generation X, these things play music. Yeah, you turn them around. It's like a record. It's really interesting. Yeah. But so these, I call them, you know what I do, Ken, is I use that. So this looks like the cassette. Remember the cassettes were, I mean, they were like a little bit taller, like this, right? And I would call it Stepping on Millionaires is what I would call it. So what I would have is, I'd have, you know how Tony used to have the Hour Power or Power of Hour or something. And he'd have two cassettes, right? Two cassettes in these things. So what I would do is I had this little BMW, and it was a 4-door, but it didn't seem like it. It was like almost like a 2-door. And and the back seat, what I did was I put all these on the bottom of my floorboard. And I would just reach back, get a tape, and listen to it. It was so cool, man. And then check this out. This is awesome. This is bringing me back, man. You know the book Acres of Diamonds?
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, you check this out. This is so cool. I have it in a cellophane thing. I should probably put it under lock and key. So if you guys don't know, this is Acres and Diamonds. It's just a quick 100-page read, really quick. All right.
Amazing.
And this you can get this anywhere.
Amazing book.
Yeah. Look at this though. What is this? The original copy of Acres of Diamonds.
Wow.
Look how old this is. It's in cellophane.
God. What's your address?
FORTKNOX.
Fort. Yeah. So, and for people that are listening on the podcast right now and can't see this, he's showing the original copy of the book, Acres of Diamonds.
Acres of Diamonds, written in 1893.
Dude, that is insane.
Yeah.
So you worked with one of my heroes and mentors, Brian Tracy. How long you waited tables and you waited on him. Was it just the one time?
I waited on him one time with he was with a manager and a couple of managers there, and what they did was they got my number, they got my brick phone Motorola number, and I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I'm like, remember, they didn't even have address books in our phones. Like, you'd have to write down the phone number still. So he ends up calling me, or not him, but one of his managers. And he says something like, he totally sold me on it. It went something like this. Oh, Erik, let us know if you know anyone that that likes to travel and likes to make a lot of money and train people and help the world. Let us know if you know of a friend of yours.
Right.
And I'm like, what about me? I thought about it for like 2 days. He totally suckered me into that one.
I was getting ready to say that was completely by design.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, you'll do fine. Yeah. So I started working with Brian. I worked with Brian for a good 7 years. Traveled with his company and so forth. It was great. And then then I can't see the comments. Oh Lord, there's comments. Hey, what's up, Sherry Gideons? What's up? woohoo, high five. Sorry, I like people, so I wanted to say hi.
Well, Joe Ingram said that we're old.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Yeah, ring, ring. Hello, Pot. This is Kettle. So, dude. So you worked with Brian. You said 7 years.
Yeah, I worked with Brian for 7 years, and one of the things I told Brian, actually, this is kind of funny. Actually, I said, dude, because I called him dude. There's three. I called him Mr. Dude, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I said there's three things that I'm gonna, vision boards, like all this stuff was coming around with Bob Proctor and vision boards and Jack Canfield, stuff like that. And I was like, I go, hey, can we delete Bob? Not very old. No, change that, Bob. So what's up, Bob? So I told Brian, I said, there are three things that I'm gonna accomplish while working with you, or right after working with you. He goes, what's that? I said, I'm gonna share the stage with you. And he's like, all right, we'll share the stage. Okay, yeah. He's very, you can hear him in the voice. All right, yes, of course, Eric. Yes.
I hear it.
Of course, Eric. And and he goes, so I said, so that was one. Number two was, I'm gonna drive a Porsche and a Maserati someday. And number three is I'm going to design a awesome, event company and have you share, be on that stage. So that brings me into the commercial break. So what happened was, there's a commercial break. So I hit all three. I hit those three, and it's great, working with him. He was just such a great influence. I mean, he still is. He's a mentor and influence to countless billions of people. And if you're not familiar with Brian, if you want to learn awesome, I don't want to say old school, I want to say awesome, classic, get rid of the cursing, all this, I don't know where the world's coming to these days. It's interesting. Everyone's like, yeah, should we curse or not? I did a whole podcast on that one time. I was like, I polled the audience. I'm like, guys, I think everyone's doing it, Gary and Grant and all these people, Tony, maybe I should do it. So I did a whole post. I go, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think I should blank curse, And they're like, yes, no, yeah. So I deleted a bunch of people. It was great.
Yeah. Well, I think that, again, the world's definitely a different place than when Brian Tracy was at the top. And same with Zig Ziglar. I'm friends with Zig's kids, and Julie Ziglar's a client of mine and dear friend of mine. And it's like you didn't do that back then, Yeah. And Brian Tracy, I'll never forget. I don't know if it was I think it was in the Psychology of Success, his course, where he said, if you really want to make it in life, find a void in the marketplace and fill it, or find something that exists and make it better. I'll never forget that line, because it gave me hope. It made me think, well, wait a minute, there's a lot of voids in the marketplace, and there's also a lot of things I could make better, right? Yeah. It just gave me hope. I don't know why. Not that I ever did anything with it. I'm just kidding.
Of course you did, man. Do you know how long I've been waiting to be on this show? Like,
I know.
Years.
I know. You had to go through my vetting process and everything, Well,
I mean, yeah, I did, like, my people talk to your people, talk to
I know. People,
it's
crazy.
Your people have people, which is really weird. Like, who has people that have people? My people are looking at hiring your people's people.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. So no,
hey, shout out to Rick Denley, by the way. Rick Denley is one of our Habitat Warrior rock stars coming in from a little place called Toronto,
That's
Canada.
Awesome.
What's up?
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Hey, Joe Ingram wants to know if you have a Maserati.
I do. Hasn't he ridden in one? Oh, I had the Jeep when I picked him up. Yeah. So okay. Yes. The answer is yes.
Here, I love what
Martin Lopez, ladies and
gentlemen. I love what he says. Read that.
What do you say? What do you say?
Cussing is an easy way out of the challenge of articulating your point in a way that has deep impact. Amen. I agree.
freaking right, man. Sorry, sorry, but you're totally right, man. Martin Lopez is a great guy, by the way. You should have him on your show. He's amazing.
Awesome.
He does, you know what he does? Do you know Martin?
No, I don't.
Man, he's amazing. All these friends are jumping on. This is great. We're gonna break. Okay, now it's the Erik Swanson show. Okay, I'm gonna interview Ken Walls.
No, you're not.
I have a very special guest today, guys. I am so excited because the walls are breaking. We're breaking them down. Ken Walls, Ken, tell us about your childhood when you grew up. This is awesome.
So let's get back to interviewing Erik. So listen, so you went. I want to make a point too. This is a really big point, because for the younger generation, you guys need to hear this. Okay, I am a #1 best-selling author. I am a high school dropout. I left high school in 12th grade because they said you didn't get a biology credit in 10th grade. And I said, yeah, because that class was awful. I hated it and I don't want a biology credit. And they're like, well, you need one to graduate. I said, well, then I guess I'm not graduating. And I walked out. And so you went to college for one semester?
I actually went for 1 semester in Castleton State College, 1 semester in University of Vermont, and then one golfing experience in the College of Marin, where my buddy and I, this is a great story. It would be 30 seconds or less, trust me. My buddy and I, we had this thing. He bought this new Quattro, the Audi Quattro. I'm like,
yeah, cool. I love those cars, actually.
Oh, it was brand new. And this guy was richer than rich. His mother was the supervisor of San Francisco. Okay, yeah. It's the Aliotto and the Veronese family. I was best friends with this guy, and he and I would go to. We made this pact. We made this agreement. We would drive from San Francisco, Pack Heights, where we lived. He would pick me up every morning. We'd go over to College of Marin. We'd do 2 circles around the parking lot. If there's a parking space, we go to school. If there's not, we go golfing. Yeah. So that's what we did. So you're correct. I never finished college. Okay.
Yeah, and dude, those Quattros will literally climb a vertical wall. Like they're, I mean, they're insane cars.
It's like a breakthrough car.
But the point that I was trying to make is, and you probably goofed off a lot in college, never really focusing, and I'm sure they didn't give you that stuff for free. You had to pay to be there to goof off. And did you, I mean, is college something that you recommend? Let me just throw it out there.
Well, let's be clear. My dad paid for the college.
Oh,
and my mom did too. My mom actually worked at the college to get me into the college or the University of Vermont. Right. So in Vermont, if anyway, so when you work there, you get either lower tuition if you live in the state, and because they want to keep you in the state, right? Everyone does that. And then if you work there, if you have an employee that works there, then you get to go for free. Interesting enough. So I was going, I mean, you got to pay for books and dorm rooms and all that stuff, right? But I was going, and then there was this kid who, I'm trying to recall his name. I think it was Richard. Could have been Richard. I really want to find him. I was 18 when I was going to college, I guess. This kid was like 15 years old. And he grew up in the really, really bad, this is a serious story, the really bad area of Burlington, Vermont, of South Burlington. No, it wasn't South Burlington, but it was a really bad area. And he had all these brothers and so forth were like really into drugs and gangs and so forth. He didn't want any of that. He attached to me and he said, where are you going tomorrow? And I said, I'm going to college. He goes, all right, I'm coming with you. So he literally would come with me to the classes, and he's studying, he's looking at my books, he's got his pens and his paper, and he never applied. He just showed up. Like, he literally went to school with me.
Oh my God.
It's unheard of, right? It's like he literally went to learn. I swear to God, like, which is great. I know I'm making a joke about it now, but honestly, it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. I really want to find him because I know this guy's, I want to find who it was again, because wow, what an inspiration. I just remember that at 15 or 16 years old, he didn't apply. He didn't go through anything. He just wanted to go to the school and learn.
He just showed up to class and took a seat and
nobody knew, because our lecture classes there were, University of Vermont's pretty big, so there were 100 people in the student, in that class. Let's say it was psychology and a lot of different classes that we were in. So just showing up is half the battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Denley just said the same thing.
Yeah. Here, Mike Green. Mike Green says, talk about the skiing experience.
Yeah, I know. I will. Okay, moving on. Next question.
So
what's up, Mike Green?
Again, that's unbelievably important. That story you just told. The dude showed up. And like Rick just said, like you said, just showing up literally it's more than half the battle. Like it's so
true. Like I showed up today on this show. I literally, I don't have pants on. I just threw the shirt on. I showed up. Nobody knows. Oh, now they know.
Now they know now.
I'm kidding. I got pants on, guys. You guys are crazy. But it's just showing up. It's just showing up for your, not only for them, but for yourself, right? You got to show up. And to answer your question, I don't know the answer. You asked me a second ago, you asked me, do I believe that college is right? Is it good? Is it good for people? I think it depends on the person. I think it depends. And it's an interesting question because you're such a young age, 17, 18-year-old, I guess. And, you don't know if it's right for you. So I think try it, do it. If it works, great.
Can I give, I know it's your interview, but can I give my opinion?
Yeah, it's your show, man.
Dude, my opinion is we expect an 17, 18, 19-year-old kid to choose their life's profession,
right?
Right? Like, hey, decide. And it's like, man, I just don't know that I can buy into that. I've switched my chosen profession, I don't know how many times. I have a buddy that's a dentist and his wife's a dentist, and for the longest time I'm not even sure that she wanted to be a dentist, and so and that's $300,000 to become a dentist. So I think that, and I think she's happy doing it now, but there's picking your chosen field is tough. Don't you agree?
I totally agree. I've got an idea on that, actually. And by the way, people ask me what my major was back in college. My answer always was passing. So,
right.
So my idea, though, is this: I think, and I really believe this, that I believe, going to college at that early age is too early. I'm not saying that you should school a different way and then go to college later, but maybe it is something where we're messing this up on for the system. Maybe it's go to high school. Maybe it's you have to take 2 years to actually work. You have to do some type of maybe it's waiting tables, maybe it's some type of community work or something for 1 year or 2 years to find out what your passion is. And maybe it's the passion. There's a great book called The Passion Test, and find out what your passions are in these 5 major areas or whatever those subsets are. And then you go back to college. You go into college at age 20 or 21. If you're going into college at 21 or 22 through 20, well, for me it would be 32. So I think you're more versed to learn what you really want to do. I think that would be a really cool idea. But
I mean, again, I think that it's a big old waste of, whoa, I have stuff falling over here. I think it's a big old waste of time and money to try to figure out what you want to be at 18 years old. I think that, I worked on a farm, and I think that everybody should go do that for a year. Like, go work on a farm, get up at 5 a.m., milk some cows, go bale hay. And I mean, it's seriously like unbelievable work. And so, as a result, I have an unbelievable work ethic. So, which, as you know, is incredibly important. So back to, okay. So you worked for Brian Tracy for 7 years, which is mind-blowingly awesome.
Thanks.
And then what happened then? You and Brian had it out about who could sell the best, and
we Rochambeau'd. and I won. He picked rock. He picked scissors. I picked rock.
Yeah.
So I won the company, and I was like, Brian, you can stay on, just keep doing what you do. And I'm gonna and he asked me, he's like, do I have to go back to Canada? I'm like, no, stay here. You're fine. Just hang out. I'm gonna go ahead and run the rest of the stuff. So
oh my God.
So obviously I'm kidding around a little bit there, but yeah. So I worked with him for 7 years. Then I branched off, and I wanted to. I realized that, and this is nothing to do with Brian. Brian's amazing. I love the gentleman. He was actually. Do I have one here? This might be it. Yeah, this is it. I actually had him on my Legends tour recently. With Brian Tracy as the main legend. Bam! Look at all these speakers, and there's
that is so incredible.
There's Denis Waitley. We had Denis Waitley. I can't see where I'm looking.
Wow.
Denis Waitley. There's myself. There's Brian. I think right there. Boom.
Yeah.
And Sharon, Lechter, Loral Langemeier. We had. Oh, it's just awesome. So my point is, though, I decided to really just start harnessing my own things. Actually, you know what? Interesting enough, which I will not. I promise I won't mention his name, but you can if you want, because he's a good buddy of ours, of yours and mine. I'll give you hints. But this gentleman calls me up, and this is 10 years ago or whatever it was. He goes, "Hey man, I'm hiring. I've noticed you. I know you're working with Brian. I want to bring you on. I'm going to make you a mini. Let's just call it a mini Jeffrey. Let's just call it that for point of argument." And I said, "Jeff, man, I love you, man. You're awesome, but I can't be a mini Jeff. I got to be a major Erik."
Yeah.
He's like, "Good idea, good point." High five me and respects me for making that decision.
Are we talking about Jeffrey Gitomer?
Oh, it might be. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I spent last week at Jeffrey's house. So and again, that's awesome. And you got to choose your lane. You got to choose. That's another huge learning point for people, is like, how many people do you know or that you've met that are living the life that somebody else taught them they should be living, like parents maybe, or clergy or whatever, right? I coach people, and that's one of the biggest challenges is like, dude, are you really living your passion? Are you living what you want to be doing? Or are you doing what somebody else told you need to be doing?
Right. I totally agree. So that's what I did. I decided, at that point, actually, I had that great conversation with Jeffrey. Jeffrey's a great friend of ours. Jeffrey Gitomer. By the way, if you're not familiar with him, you've been living under, I should have a rock here.
Dude, David Newman is on here. Do you know David Newman?
I do not. Hey, what's up, David Newman? What's up,
David Newman's like in the Speakers Hall of Fame or something. He's he is a rock star, man. Fantastic. Him and I were at Jeffrey Gitomer's house together last week, man. Love this dude. He's awesome.
Oh, that's great. Well, welcome to the show, David Newman.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, man. Good to meet you. So, so what was I saying is, Jeffrey Gitomer had this, we had that conversation, and back then he was hiring his team, and smart for him to do, obviously. And it was kind of, let me back up and say this. It was basically what I just did with Brian Tracy 7 years prior, right? So Jeffrey was hiring his team, and I was sort of a mini, everyone wants to be a mini Kenny Walls. I was like a mini Brian Tracy, and then I decided I wanted to branch off. I had that conversation with Jeffrey, and then I decided at that point, I'm like, you know what? I gotta make a mark on this world of awesomeness. So I started writing books. So then I became like you, a best-selling author. I'm now a 5-time #1 best-selling author, which is so amazing.
Wow.
It's awesome. I mean, I'm not saying it to say it's amazing that way. I'm saying like
that's incredible.
Like not graduating college, having just having all things stacked up against you to not be successful that way. And then I branched off, and then I became that, which is great, and I attested to the fact that of my surroundings, who I surrounded myself with. Nancy Matthews is on, by the way. Say hi, Nancy Matthews. What's up? She's great. She's amazing leader over in Florida and in the world, really. So then I started surrounding myself with all these amazing individuals. And I'll tell you what, Ken, this is like, recently this has been happening, and I love it. It warms my heart. I'm getting emails or requests. My office are getting requests for me to give testimonials for other big names authors, for their books coming up, which is so awesome. I love that. It's just like, it's who you surround yourself with, and are you really delivering those gifts of awesomeness to other people and showing up like you were saying. Oh, somebody said, did you write Think and Grow Rich? Yeah, I did not. Thank you very much. But he's talking about Think and Grow Rich back here. I've got signed, autographed copies of a lot of these books, which are amazing. Ironically, my books are not really here. Oh, there's one of them. I don't know if you can see that. It's my Social Millions.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's awesome. This one's awesome. This one's called Crush and Dominate: 13 Strategies to Piss Off Your Competitors.
That's awesome, dude.
It's a great read. But
do you know Ben Gay the Third? He's on here. Love that dude. He's been on the show.
Ben's amazing. I love him.
I love that dude. Yep. He's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Ben, we need to connect. And David Newman and all. Let's connect everyone.
Yeah. I've got to go in and clean out. I got to clean up my list.
I did a vote the other day. Did you see my vote?
I did. Yeah.
I did. Pick a name.
Pick a name. They all said Ken Walls.
Yeah,
are we still friends?
Something with a K and a W. Yeah. You gotta do a friend cleanse. That's what I do. I call it a friend cleanse. It's so
hard, man. I love people. So, so you okay. So Gittimer tried to recruit you.
Wait, let's rephrase that. He offered me a great position, and I said, I really need to bank on me, and he agreed. So that's what he did.
That David Newman is buying all of your books right now.
Do it, man. Do it, and do it. Tell you what, David, if you buy all 5 of my books and write a 5-star amazing testimonial for all of them, then I'll see if we can get you in the Hall of Fame, a Speaker Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna see if we can do it, David.
David has an amazing book. Also, it's amazing. He's a good dude. So so after at some point. When did you start? You're promoting. I love it.
It's a self-promotion. It was a quick one. Did you type it in?
Let's just throw it up on the dang screen, Erik. So
it's kind of a fun. That's a really good technique and to teach your audience if you want to know. So all I did was I put in 3 letters. That's all I did.
Yeah, so, yeah.
You should teach your audience that. It's
I know. I teach people the text shortcuts. Yeah, I teach that. So let's and Erik or David's books are the do it marketing, do it speaking. He has a speaking book. He's awesome. So all right. At some point though, like you were with Brian Tracy, what did you do after that? You left Brian Tracy's organization.
Yeah.
And did you start where did you start cleaning cars?
No, I didn't do the car cleaning system. No. I ended up it's a good one though. I should have done that. That would have been good. No, I ended up what did I do right after that? I went I didn't get out of the industry. I've been in the industry for 22 years.
Yeah.
So I started with Brian and at age 20 something, I won't tell you my age, but you do the math.
How old were you when you started with Brian?
Younger. So then what happened was, what happened, actually the first day that I met Brian Tracy, this is funny. You should see a photo of it. If I could pull it up, I will. It's a photo of me with this suit on, whatever, but I had suspenders and I had a belt. Both, okay? Because I wanted to be Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins all at the same time. That's what I wanted to do. That was my goal.
Oh my God, so, dude, that is funny.
So let's see. With Brian Tracy, what I decided to do is I branched off and I said to myself, well, I'm going to do my own event and I'm going to bring in some really cool speakers, just a couple speakers, and we'll have a 1-day event. And we called it Universal Seminars. And that was actually my mistake. But let's back up. It was called American Sales Trainers. That's what it was called years ago. Wow. And then it worked into Universal Seminars, and now it's gone into the 2 or 3 day TED Talk style, which is the Habitude Warrior conferences.
So let's talk about that. So and first, before we get there, let's talk about how hard it was, because it was hard, right? The universal speakers thing, right? When you first started your business, did everything just come easy and you became a gazillionaire, bought a Porsche and a Maserati?
You know, kind of. No, to be honest, you know, I'll tell you the date that I started my company. It was August 8th, 2001.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, think about it.
Oh.
And I was there. God. I watched it. I was in a meeting that morning. It was a Monday morning. I was in a meeting in Houston, Texas. It was one of my first meetings. I started August 8th and September 11th was literally one of my first meetings. And we all came downstairs and watched the second airplane live. And that was the start of my journey after working with Brian Tracy, and I was on my own. And so talking about breaking through walls, right? And breaking through, I said to myself, well, you know, this is obviously after all the shock and everything. And what I did was I decided, okay, what's the best scenario is keep pursuing, keep rocking, don't let them take over us. Right. And that's what I said to myself, same thing for business, you know? So we rocked, you know. 2008 was a slow start, obviously. And then 2001, 2002 and onwards was a slow start, but it was amazing. And it just kept on growing. But no, it wasn't that easy. What was interesting though, this is the interesting part. So let's get into a positive note now. What was interesting is that I noticed I was always timid. I was always scared about the fact that I was like, wow, I was representing Brian Tracy and now I'm representing nobody, right? Or myself. Okay.
Right.
And then, and people, and I had friends that were representing Tony Robbins. They were representing the big names, whatever those names were. Tom Hopkins was another big name back then. And I said to myself, you know, if I'm going to make it in anything, then I'm going to represent the me and the people. Okay. And what I said to myself was I bet on myself. And I promise you, I'm still the same way, where I don't go in where I say, oh, we've got this big name or we got that big name. They're not buying the big names anymore. They're buying you. You know, they're literally buying you and your awesomeness. And just so happens to have less on there, great, or Bob Proctor or Ken Walls or David Newman or Brian Tracy or, you know, Joe Ingram. That's great. But they're buying you and your philosophy of awesomeness. Yeah. That's what it's all about, you know. That's why Les Brown called me Mr. Awesome when I was growing up. So I was like, I'm gonna keep it.
Wow, that is awesome, dude. That literally is awesome. Thanks. So you started this. Where was your first event?
By the way, Jason, I don't know how to say his last name. Let me just see if I can pull up how to say it. Jason Sketcherly, amazing gentleman. Wow. He just texted me a second ago and he's looking at coming on our stage. We have a 2-year waiting list to get on our stage now. By the way, Interesting, right? Interesting. You go from working with one of the top amazing individuals and saying, okay, enough about this. I don't want, like, I didn't use any of his accolades to build my stuff now. And I built it from scratch, and we built it so well that, and so great, in a great way, that it's all about surrounding yourself with the right type of people. And this gentleman was, I think he was in line of duty. He was severely burned. His face is completely burned, and what an amazing gentleman. We have people on our stage, like we've got this kid named Austin, and it's kind of funny, and stupid at the same time. So I was sitting there with a buddy of mine named Nick Lowry, who's played NFL. He's a kicker for Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. And he invites me over to his house the other day, and so I cruise over there. And the funny part was he was at the Super Bowl, so I was going to break into his house and just like watch the Super Bowl at his house and like throw his signed footballs, you know. But anyway, so I'm at his house the other day, and that's the kind of guy I am. What are you gonna do? So I'm at his house the other day, and there's this 16, 17-year-old kid just sitting on the couch, and I couldn't see, you know, I could just see, you know, most of him, part of him, but I couldn't see his pants or what he was wearing, whatever, because there was a coffee table right there. And I'm talking about some things, and this kid had such a great attitude, amazing attitude. And I was like, you know, tell me, how do you get all this amazing attitude? This is awesome. I said, what high school are you in, or whatever? I was asking him some questions about some stuff. And then I noticed that he had like a cast on or something on his foot. I was like, oh, you obviously like Kansas City, right? You're over here. What did you have him sign your cast? What's the cast for? And he goes, oh, maybe you can't see the whole thing. This is I lost my leg.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, holy, really?
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. His name's Austin Farr. Farr. Great kid. He's only like 17 years old, I think now. And he lost one of his legs with a rare disease that he had. But his attitude of awesomeness is just like, because you know, people. Oh, that's weird. Am I back? Am I still here?
Yep, you're here. Wow. Yes.
I'm still here? I hope so. Yeah.
Did a call come in?
I can't hear you now, which is interesting. So maybe it'll come back up.
No,
can you hear me?
You have to leave.
No, I gotta recall. I turned off the thing. That's
I know. Weird. You got a call.
That's so strange.
Leave and come back.
Give me a yes or a no. Yes, I have to get off and then come back on.
Yes. Right.
All right. Tell them I'll be right back.
Yes.
Wait, can they still hear me?
Yes.
Whoa,
but you can't hear me.
Still hear me. This is perfect. I'm gonna. Yeah. No. When is the last time you did an interview like this? This is great. The best way to do an interview with Ken Wallace, because now you guys can hear me, but I can't hear him. So Ken, sign language the next question.
Write
it in the comment.
Watch. I'm gonna kick. You can't hear me, but I'm gonna kick him out.
I'm gonna get off and come back.
I just kicked him out. He's got to come back on now. Oh, I love Erik. He's freaking funny. So he'll be back in a second. That's one of the downsides of using a phone for these interviews, is because if you get a phone call inadvertently, and what's weird about the iPhone is you can put it in do not disturb mode and calls still come in randomly. It's the strangest thing. I don't get it. But oh, here he is. He's back. Do you like that? I kicked you out.
I even said that. I looked at my dog. I was like, I think he kicked me out. The dog's like, it was rough. Ridiculous.
Oh God. Dude, what is wrong with you?
I'm gonna start another live right now, and I'm gonna put you on it with this.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
But you guys can still hear me. That was hilarious.
Joe Ingram just said I called him. So was it him that called you? It wasn't him that called you.
Yeah, it was Joe.
It was?
Yeah. Oh, look, Joe, David Newman, Martin Lopez. Everyone's calling me now. Stop calling me.
That is funny. So where were we?
You want to hear something funny that you should do?
Yeah.
Like so if you have an iPhone or whatever phone, iPhone or the other stupid one, what you do is you go in and you put, like, instead of my name, what you do is you put like Oprah Winfrey on the. So when I call you, your friend's like, Oprah Winfrey's calling you. Yeah. Hey.
Hello. Wow. So you were saying? What were you saying? Gosh.
Well, let's start over. So I was born in Washington, D.C. It's cold there. We went to Vermont. I waited tables. Brian Tracy's cool. Jeffrey Gittimer is awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, David Newman. You should be a Hall of Famer. And then we're back. So
right.
There was your recap, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Recap.
Yes.
What else? What were we saying? We're saying, oh, I was talking about Austin Farr.
Oh, yeah.
This kid, I'm going to call him a kid. He's 17 years old. This kid has such a great attitude. I'm putting him on. It's a 2-year waiting list to get on my stage. I'm putting him on my stage. He's going to be in Scottsdale. So wow. I just want that attitude of awesomeness, no matter what's going on. And what's interesting about what he did or what he does is, how if you feel uncomfortable, like if somebody has an ailment or something's wrong, right? The common thing to do is like, oh, you shy away from it. You're like, well, I'm not going to mention that. I'm not going to. But he brings it up. Like my great friend David Corbin. David Corbin's awesome. You guys got to check him out. He talks about illuminating it. Like if you have an issue, illuminate it and make it positive instead of negative. And that's what Austin did. He actually made it less uncomfortable for the person sitting next to him. That's what he does. He's like, look, I know there's an elephant in the room or my leg missing, let's talk about it. It's just, wow. What an amazing, amazing.
That's incredible. I agree. That's incredible. So, you started this company. That's what we were talking about, that you started this company and, right at the perfect time, right at 9/11. I'm kidding. And I'm sure that you had to battle through some times. I mean,
that was one of the battles right there. We're all battling through sometimes.
Sure.
So, there's always challenges, always those challenges and what I've learned is, just here's a simple technique that I use for myself. And I say it to myself in little sayings like this. This is really, really good. You guys should always have one of these.
What is that? Hold it up. Let me see it.
Sure. This is a creed that I say to myself. And it's
oh, wow. Look at that.
So it just says, I am the best. I am focused. I will succeed. I believe in myself. I have the will to win. I set high expectations. I surround myself with winners. I visualize my awesome future, and I don't let others bring me down, and I will learn and grow every day. Bam.
Dude, I love that, man.
Thanks. If you guys want, if your listeners want this, just have them, I don't know. I'll put a link up there. Just go to awesomeswanson.com and I'll put a download link on this if you want to download it. And what's cool about it is like download it and then give it to people. So what I did was I started this years ago where I wanted to stop the negativity, and I also wanted to stop drinking coffee. So what I did was I printed up a bunch of these and I put them around my house in front of the coffee maker. So I would look at this and I say, and somebody asked me the other day, why don't you drink coffee? And I said, well, I'm my own coffee. And now my next goal is I want to be your coffee, right? I want to be your energy. I want to help you, right? Yeah. Through me, I want to help you. So that's what we always have. And what this is just a reminder. That's it. Tony Robbins used to say TOMA, TOMA, top of mind awareness. And I think it's just reminders. Like if you look above me right now, my head, you'll see right there, it says, decide to be awesome on the board right behind me. So it's all these little tiny things, having these, what I call PME, positive mental environment. Yeah. Have those environment of awesomeness, and set yourself up. Like when I decided to lose some weight back a while ago. And then recently I decided to put it back on. But anyway, so I decided to lose some weight a while back. And I said to myself, okay, well, if I'm going to lose weight, I got to set up the PME, positive mental environment. So I would set up these bottles of water. Before I left the house, I had to drink these 5 or 6 bottles of water. Wow. So it's just little things like that,
Yeah. I have your website thing running across the bottom now. You said awesomeswanson.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I can't believe this is we're an hour in. This is an hour-long show.
Oh, it's break time now. We're gonna go one more hour, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to grab your vodka, iced tea, grab your iced tea. And then we're back.
Because not all of us quit drinking coffee, by the way. So listen, let me ask you this. I know you've had unbelievable amounts of speakers on your stages. You've spoken on stages all over the world. You hobnob with some of the greatest people on planet Earth. I love Sharon Lechter and Bob Donnell and Joe Ingram's okay. I'm kidding. I love Joe. He's awesome. So people get stuck in life, Erik. Would you agree with that?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And in your opinion, what do you think? I mean, look, the number one answer to this question I'm going to tell you is fear. But I want to hear your opinion, and hopefully it's not just fear.
Fear.
What is it that you think keeps most people stuck from maybe they're working a job that they absolutely hate or despise, and they want to, they want to do something different. They want to, whatever it is, right? And they just stay stuck and they won't move forward, or they stay broke or whatever. What do you think that is?
Yeah, so it's not fear. It's just them being afraid. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm answering the same thing. So I'll tell you exactly what it is. Honestly, it's a combination of fear, because you do have the right answer there, obviously. But it's a combination of fear and also complacency. It's that comfortableness. It's people stay in bad relationships. Why? Because, well, they don't know how to replace it with something else. They're too comfortable. Is the pain. And pain and pleasure. That's what it is. Is the pain too much pain to get out of it to get to the pleasure, right? So they just stay in the pain, or is the pain not as unbearable, not as unbearable as much? You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. But is the pain? Can they bear the pain? You know what I mean? Can they stay in there? And they stay in there long enough, and then 2 years turns into 5 years, and it's a snowball effect. That's what happens. So I think get off the pot and go. Just change your state. Tony Robbins talks about that all the time. I've got a good friend, Paul Blanchard, David and Paul Blanchard. Augmendino. They took over Augmendino's work, and they talk about habit finder. And find your great habits. That's what I talk about is the habitude of your life. It's your habits and your attitude put together. So just change your state, change your attitude, change your habits. If you change your habits, you're going to change your attitude about your life and different things. Then people will look at you and go, wow, he's so successful. Instant success, right? Yeah. They didn't see the 20 years of pain, right, to get to that.
Yeah, the fear of what if my car runs out of gas, and as a result my house has no heat.
Yeah. Well,
did you get that? Like, because you're sleeping in your car.
Oh, because you're saying, I didn't get that part. Yeah.
But they don't. People think, they see Erik Swanson cruising around in his beautiful, beautiful
bicycle.
white. My
bicycle. Yeah. I should cruise around on a bicycle. That's what I should do. Like a tricycle. Like
the Maserati, right? And they think, man, this guy's got it so lucky. He's just lucky.
Yeah. It is. It's luck. I won the lottery a long time ago and then became a motivational speaker.
Right. Yeah. That's what every motivational speaker does.
Yeah. Interesting you say about running out of gas, though. So I got a question for you. Forget the home thing. I'm talking about like running out of gas. What happens when you run out of gas? You're heading to a meeting. What do? You get on your phone, you get an Uber, you leave your car, you go.
Yeah.
People are like, you know what people do? They freak out. I'd even leave my Maserati. I don't care. Just leave it. It's okay. That's why you have insurance. You get to show up where you're supposed to show up. A lot of people, they mess up. You know what they do? They get in their head, they get in their mind, and they don't look at the big overall success picture. And the success picture is being in front of people to help them.
Amen, dude. Amen.
Mic
That's
drop.
true.
We should have a mic.
So talk about the Habitude Warrior deal.
Mic drop.
Yeah, don't drop that.
You told me to have a mic on me, so here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Just hold on to that. So
anyway.
Talk about the Habitude Warrior. Tell everybody what the Habitude Warrior is real quick, so we can.
Wait, we need to do a screenshot. Everyone take a screenshot of this. This is cool. Everyone screenshot Ken and I, and we'll do a contest. Okay, here we go. Ready? Screenshot. Come on, guys. All right, that's enough. All right. So
talk about Habitude Warrior.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. You should be there. We have it's a two-day conference. It's all TED Talk style. We have people like everyone. I mean, myself, obviously. I'm just looking at some of the names here: Sharon, Lechter, Loral Langemeier, Brian Tracy, Mark Victor Hansen, Dan Clark, Paul Blanchard, Armando Montalongo, Undercover Boss. Who else we have? Bob Donnell, of course. We got who are our past speakers? Les Brown. I said Brian Tracy, right? We're looking at bringing on Tom Hopkins. We just have lots of different great speakers. Frank Shankwitz, Make-A-Wish Foundation founder.
Wow.
Jeffrey Gittimer is going to be on as soon as I can find out what is right next door to his house in Charlotte. I'm going to literally do the event next door and walk over and say, hey, we got breakfast. Come on over. And we're going to bring it over.
Yeah, right.
So that's what we're going to do. So we have some great speakers. Basically what we do is this. It's a Habit Warrior conference. It's 2 days. It's all about inspiration and your habits and your attitude. And it's pretty fun. And right now we've got a 2-year waiting list to get on it. We're always welcoming great speakers. We're a pay to place format that way, because what I like to do is bring in new speakers so that they get more exposure, throughout the US and throughout Canada. We've got Rick Denley coming in. We got Katie Maris. I'm trying to get Joe Ingram on, because that guy's a stud at sales and appointment setting and all these different cultures of sales. Great stuff.
You have Katie coming? Katie Maris?
Yeah, Katie Maris.
I love Katie. She's a client of mine. I love Katie.
Oh, great. Yeah, she's on. She spoke at my St. Louis event. We've got Dr. Steve Taubman coming in. We've got Manny Wolf, our branding expert. I'm just looking down the line here, man. We got tons of different people. Tucker Bearden, that guy's amazing. And interesting. I'll mention a couple more people that I like to bring on. Hi, Pamela Aubrey. How are you? Thank you. I'm going to thank you for Ken. Ken, don't say anything. Let me talk to her myself. So I just want to thank you very much. That's very sweet, and share this message. Okay, I'm back. So Bob Donnell's a Habitual Warrior rock star. That guy's a rock star. We got like alumni. But the thing is, we've got people like that people don't really know yet. So what I do is I bring them on as like a co-MC, and I work them through the system to get them on the stages and the platforms of life, in the speaker realm. We're working on something called Inner City Speakers, which is pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and get ambassador speakers to donate their time, including mine. I'm sure you would too. And what we're going to do is go to a city, like an inner city of Dallas, Phoenix, Detroit, you name it. And we're going to go ahead and help these kids and train them and get them on the stages of their lives. That's our goal.
That's awesome, man. And you got me all wrong, dude. I won't donate my time, man. I'm all about me. I don't want to help people. That's crazy. I'm kidding. Of course I would. I'd love to help. I love helping people. It's what I live my life for.
We're honoring. Oh, thank you. We're honoring. So if anyone's interested in that, by the way, put it in the comments. It's called, that's so weird. The phone is backwards for me, I guess. So I'm putting my right hand down and my left hand goes up. It's really. This is so weird. I can't hold my right hand right now. Anyway, thank you, Pamela. Yeah. Oh, very sweet. Yeah.
Pam is a client of mine too. I love her. She's amazing.
Pam rocks. We have Dan Clark, by the way, coming in. He's an amazing speaker, and he's going to be. We're honoring him with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Sharon Lechter, and Dr. Denis Waitley have won it all the last 4 years.
Wow, that's incredible, dude.
Thanks, man.
Dude, you have got first off, I think for somebody that doesn't, I normally don't trust people that won't drink coffee or don't drink coffee.
Totally. They're nuts.
Now, I don't know, you may have swayed me a little bit. So
you should do this stuff.
I love that stuff, actually. Love that stuff. So, we are way past the end of the hour. And I want to say, number one,
hey, can I show you this? Can I show you this before we go?
Yes.
This thing's so cool. Katie Maris got me this, by the way. It was so sweet of her. So I lost my father recently.
Man.
A few years ago, and what he would always say to me, and I told her this, and I think we're just having a phone conversation, and I never tell people this, but I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh. So she she got me a photo of my dad and I. Apparently we're rapping or something. I don't know what we're doing there.
Wow.
that was in Vermont. And she put go kick ass. And that's what my dad would say that to me before any big event that I was going to do, whatever event, let's big appointment or meeting or something. He'd go kick ass. And that's what he would say. And then on this side is the, Erik Swanson, Mr. Awesome. And then those are the 5, I don't know if I can put this in here. Those are the 5 categories of what I talk about in my speeches, which is courage, passion, patience, strength, and leadership. It's pretty cool. It's a great reminder. All these things are reminders. I'm telling you, man, success is just a reminder of awesomeness.
Wow. That's awesome. I love that. I use the word awesome like 3,000 times a day.
Yeah, I know. I tried. Yeah. I tried to trademark it, and the trademark company told me that you're using it too much, and I couldn't trademark it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I accept full responsibility for that.
So funny. I have this really great friend, and she's a speaker as well on my stage. Her name's Natalie Susie. And it's so funny because every time she and I have these conversations, we use something called Marco Polo, which is like a WhatsApp or something. Yeah. It's a video chatting thing.
Yeah, I love Marco Polo.
And she would say, I would say, oh, that's awesome. And she would say, that's so beautiful. So every time it's synonymous. It's the same thing. So every time I would say the word awesome, and I know she's going to say beautiful, I would change it, and she would change it for me. She goes, oh, Erik, that sounds so awesome for you.
Wow. That's so cool, dude. Yeah. Well, listen, man, I thank you for being on. You are amazing. Everybody go check out more about Habitude Warrior at habitudewarrior.com. I have the address scrolling across the bottom. Follow Erik. Where? Facebook? Where else? Where should they follow you? Instagram?
Easiest thing to do. Yeah, easiest thing to do is go to awesomeswanson.com, because what I did was I had my team put a landing page there, one landing page with everything on there. You can have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Yes, perfect. TikTok. You can have everything.
Perfect.
By the way, I blocked you on my TikTok account as well, so you can't see my TikTok.
That's okay.
Because I'm, dancing.
And you don't even drink coffee.
My dancing looks like I'm riding a horse for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
I'm horsing around.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate you being on. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure, man. It was great. It was really good to see you and your audience. Well, sort of. I can't really see them, but
I know.
I'm sure they're around here somewhere. I like these 4 walls. This is breaking through these walls.
That's right.
Awesome. You're awesome, man. We'll see you at some of these events. Our next one's coming up in Houston.
Yeah.
We're in Houston, Raleigh, Scottsdale, London, Sydney, and Orange County.
That's insane. Wow.
Come see us.
That's awesome. All right. Hey, you guys, thank you to everybody who shared this out, who watched this, gave us the laughing cry faces, the hearts, the love. Appreciate all of you. And we will see you later. Don't hang up on me yet, Erik, but I am going to end the broadcast. So say goodbye.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks so much. Take care, guys. See you soon.
Bye-bye.